The summer sun dipped below the horizon, casting long shadows over the sprawling countryside of Scotland. A group of friends on a backpacking trip gazed across the shimmering surface of Loch Ness, intrigued by the ancient tales that surrounded the lake. Sarah, Lucas, and Mia huddled together, excitedly discussing the legends of a creature said to roam its depths. "Imagine if we actually saw it," Lucas said, leaning back on the soft grass and gazing dreamily at the water. "The Loch Ness Monster, just waiting for us to find it." "Oh, please," Mia scoffed, though her eyes sparkled with playful excitement. "It's just a myth. You believe in all that nonsense?" "Legends often hold a grain of truth," Sarah chimed in, cautiously glancing over the water. "People have seen something big." As the twilight deepened into night, they decided to camp by the loch. Ignoring Mia's protests, they pitched their tents near the water's edge, eager to soak in the atmosphere of the legendary lake. A bonfire crackled, its warm glow casting eerie shadows around them. "Tell us a story, Sarah," Lucas urged, tossing a twig into the flames. "All right," she replied, her voice lowering to a whisper. "There's a tale about a woman who lived near the loch many, many years ago. She was an outcast, accused of witchcraft. One night, seeking revenge, she summoned the creature of the loch. They say she cursed it, binding it to her will, and it became the monstrous guardian of her spirit." Mia rolled her eyes, but Lucas was fixated. "What happened to her?" "One cold night, she vanished," Sarah continued. "No one knows how or why, but the locals claimed they heard horrendous roars echoing across the waters. Ever since then, people have seen strange shapes rising from the depths, and the legend of the Loch Ness Monster was born." The wind picked up, causing the flames to flicker and dance, creating a backdrop of ghostly figures around them. Sarah finished her story, a slight quiver in her voice, and they lapsed into silence. Suddenly, Mia's phone buzzed. "It's just my family checking in," she explained. "What about you guys? No service, right?" "None," Lucas said, shaking his head, his demeanor suddenly serious. "But look," he pointed toward the water. The surface rippled unnaturally, as if something large moved just beneath. A deep, rumbling sound echoed from the loch, sending goosebumps across their skin. "That was just the wind," Mia said nervously. But a flash of dark, enormous shapes broke through the surface for just a heartbeat. A long shadow below the water splashing up briefly before disappearing. "Did you see that?" Sarah gasped, her heart racing. "Maybe it's just fish," Mia suggested weakly, though her voice lacked conviction. As they argued, dizziness gripped Lucas. He staggered back, clutching his head. "Guys," he mumbled, eyes staring blankly at the lake. "I can hear something, it's calling, it needs help." Before they could react, he was running toward the water. "Lucas, don't," Sarah screamed, but he plunged into the loch, splashing clumsily. Panic surged through them as they scrambled to the edge, peering into the dark water where Lucas had disappeared. "Lucas," Mia shouted, "come back, please." But only silence greeted them, thick and foreboding. Time stretched agonizingly as they called for him, but he didn't return. The loch, once serene, now felt alive, its depths marked by unseen currents, teasing and taunting. "Let's get help," Sarah urged, her voice trembling. They turned away from the water, desperate to find assistance in the dark void of night. But as they moved away from the shore, a low growl rippled through the air, chilling them to the bone. The ground beneath their feet trembled slightly, as if something immense was moving just below. Suddenly, they heard a splash. Turning back, they beheld the horrifying sight of a monstrous head breaking the surface of the loch. Eyes like glowing coals fixated on them, and a mouth filled with jagged teeth opened in a terrible roar. "Run!" Mia shrieked, and they sprinted into the woods, the echo of their pounding hearts drowning out the monstrous growl. Branches whipped at their faces as they bolted through the underbrush, each glanced back revealing the creature's massive form lurking just behind the trees. Hours passed, or maybe minutes, it was hard to tell in their flight for survival. Eventually, they stumbled upon an old stone cabin, overgrown with vines. It looked abandoned, but they didn't care. They burst through the door, barricading it behind them. Panting and scared, they huddled together, hearts racing. "What was that?" Mia gasped, desperately scanning the darkness of the cabin. "I don't know," Sarah replied, shaking. Lucas. He's still out there. In that moment, silence filled the cabin, a suffocating hush that felt wrong. Suddenly, a slow thudding came from outside the door, as if something heavy was approaching. They huddled together, trying to quiet their breaths. The front door rattled forcefully. Help! A familiar voice called weakly from the other side. Sarah, Mia, it's me, Lucas, Sarah screamed, relief washing over her momentarily. She dashed to the door, but Mia pulled her back. No, don't open it, but the voice changed, twisting into a deep, menacing growl. Help me? Suddenly, the door splintered as the creature outside began to force its way in. No, we need to get out, Mia shrieked, but before they could move, the door burst open, and in slithered the terrible creature, its eyes glowing with hunger. They screamed, but the world around them faded into darkness as fear swallowed the last echoes of their voices, leaving only the silent, rippling waters of Loch Ness behind.